Hello, good evening, and thank you all for joining us this beautiful, beautiful spring evening for the Lake Jazz Showcase. Before you have the Lake Middle School Jazz Band, and we have a few of our high schoolers kind of filling in on some parts that we might have been missing. My name is Josh Laux, if you don't know me, and I head up our jazz program here at Lake Local Schools, and we're very excited to get to share an evening of lots and lots of jazz music with you all. The ensemble sitting behind me right now has been making tremendous strides and a lot of progress all the way throughout this school year. They started back in September, and here we are now with an introduction of jazz at the beginning of the year all the way up to playing some jazz standards at this point in the year. And they're doing very, very fine work at that. They meet twice a week after school, and the past few months or so, with my personal schedule, we've been having to meet a few times less than that just because of different things that have come up. But they have been troopers and really gotten their parts nailed down, and we've been able to piece it all together. So they have two pieces that they're going to play for you this evening. And once they are done, we are going to have a combo of high schoolers performing for you, which I think you'll definitely enjoy. And then we'll wrap up the evening with the high school jazz band performing about 8 or 9 songs in total. So we think it's going to be a very, very fine presentation for you all this evening, and we hope you enjoy. So we're going to get things going here with Take the A Train, a nice standard here in the jazz repertoire, performed by the Lake Middle School Jazz Band. Thank you. Don't they just sound wonderful? They've been working together since September, as I mentioned, and you would think they've been playing together much longer than that. They're doing very, very fine work. This group consists of 7th and 8th graders, and primarily we have the instrumentation with this ensemble that you would see in a professional group or in a high school or college level group, but at this level I really, really want to make sure that we can get as many people involved as possible, so we do open it up. At times in this ensemble we'll have clarinetists, we'll also have flautists, we've had in the past tubas, we've had euphoniums. This year we have a French horn in the group, in addition to the standard saxophone, trombone, trumpet, and rhythm section that we have going on. So it's really just about getting them to whet their appetite in the jazz genre, and then if it's something they want to pursue later on in high school, we start looking at some switches to more standard or traditional jazz instruments, just because of the way the parts are written. When you get into some more of the advanced charts, you can't as easily adapt, say, a clarinet solo part or a French horn or a tuba part. It's a little bit more of a challenge that way. But they do very, very fine work. On that last tune, you heard a little bit from some of our alto saxophones doing a little soli feature there. And on this next tune, I'm trying to think. I don't think there are any solos on this next one. Am I forgetting anything? No. On this next one, it's just a full ensemble. But it's a nice standard as well. Big Noise from Winnetka, and we hope that you enjoy. Lake Middle School Jazz Band, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. If you hang tight, we're going to do a quick set change. Sorry, I'm running on a little bit less sleep than normal. Some of you know why. I can explain more later. But we're going to do a quick set change, and then we'll be back with you here with our jazz combo. All right, while they're getting set up here, I'll tell you a little bit about this ensemble. First off, we have obviously one individual who's dressed a little bit differently. He just got injured over at a track meet, but he is cleared to play. So he just, because of some bandages, he has to wear that top rather than the black dress shirt. So I said, you know what, if you're allowed to play, then we'll have you play. That works fine. This group here, the Lake Jazz Combo, they kind of got a taste for things a few years back. Just with some of the work we had done in class, and we had some guest artists come in and perform that really kind of inspired them to look a little bit deeper at the genre of combo jazz playing, meaning the small ensemble, where generally you have a drum set player, a bassist, a piano player, and then it could be a saxophone, trombone, trumpet, or any mix of main kind of melody instruments. And these individuals, they've worked together for, as I said, a couple of years now, creating their own music, but in addition to that, starting to dig into some of the traditional jazz combo pieces. And this evening, they're going to perform for you 3 of those traditional ones. The first tune that they're going to play is Milestones. The second tune is Cantaloupe Island, and the third one is All Blues, and you're going to hear some soloing from each of them. These individuals have been, as I said, working very hard And I think you'll understand when you hear them that their understanding of this genre of music is very, very deep, which is pretty cool for me as their teacher to get to see them take these concepts and really run with them. And the expansion of their knowledge that has happened outside of the classroom, that thirst for knowledge, has really kind of developed in them in the jazz area. And you won't be disappointed. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Lake Jazz Combo performing Milestones, Cantaloupe Island, and All Blues. gentlemen. All right, if you sit tight here for just a moment, we'll get the high school jazz band up here. All right, before you, the Lake High School Jazz Band. We have the privilege of getting to rehearse as an ensemble every single day because we are very fortunate here in Lake Local Schools to have jazz as part of the school day curriculum. And that's very, very important to us here because it is a very important genre in the instrumental music scene and in the band world. So we're very thankful that we're able to fit that in during the school day, and I get to work with these individuals from the first day of school to the last day of school. And the advantages to that, we get to dive in a little bit deeper than you would in most other jazz programs where they only get to rehearse maybe twice after school or once after school. Where it's really just kind of let's cram through these pieces, make sure we have all the notes and rhythms, and move on to the next thing. Here we can actually learn a little bit more about the composers, a little bit more about all sorts of jazz history, how it ties in with American history, reaching all the way across the curriculum. So it's a very well developed and kind of advanced program for these individuals to get to go through. And I know I personally wish I was obviously really heavily involved in my jazz band when I was in high school, but we didn't have anything like this. It was all before school and just kind of, do you have the notes and rhythms, go. So I'm very, very grateful to have the opportunity and privilege to get to work with this ensemble every single day. And I think you guys will hear the fruits of their labor because of that. We're going to kick things off here with Jumpin' at the Woodside. So I don't forget. On this tune, you're going to hear from Rochelle Leeper on tenor sax, Derek Gullett on trombone, Emily Schrembeck on bass, and Callum Amaker on piano. So we hope you enjoy Jumpin' at the Woodside.
Thank
went off on that one. Tanner Boston was over there on trumpet. Sorry about that, Tanner. All right, as I mentioned earlier, there's a reason for my bumbling madness, but some of you are aware, but my wife and I just had a baby. And thank you very much. And she was born last Monday, Miss Samantha Louise, and we're very, very excited and happy and just beside ourselves, but also, as I'm sure all of you can appreciate, we're also very, very tired. That first week is a very tiring one, but very, very happy, very thankful. Both my wife and she are healthy, and we couldn't ask for anything more than that. So these individuals have been kind of flying solo, not really solo, but without me for the past week, and stepping in for me in my absence, we have an individual who teaches trumpet here for us, private lesson trumpets, Mr. David Kennedy. He's been filling in for me in my absence, and I know Mr. Kibler also has been kind of stepping in with the jazz band as well, so I want to thank them publicly for their additional help while I've been out. So let's give them a round of applause. This group did a run-out event yesterday afternoon down at McKinley Healthcare Center. I said the name right. Okay, she gave me a look. I was like, oh no, did I say it wrong? Yeah, McKinley Healthcare Center. Rochelle was kind of working on a project there, a little bit of a research project, and we were able to help her out with that, as well as getting to perform for a group of individuals where this was really their music. And the students told me that it went very, very well. Mr. Kibler told me it went very well, and that the audience down there was just very appreciative. One member, Stan, said something even about it. It brought a tear to her eye getting to hear them play. So, and that's what it's all about, getting people to enjoy and experience this music, especially those who this was theirs. This is what they grew up listening to and enjoying. So, a pretty cool experience for these individuals to get to have yesterday. The next song for you this evening is a Charles Mingus piece entitled Nostalgia in Times Square. And this one features, let's see, just Connor Workman on alto saxophone. So enjoy. And Rochelle Lieber on tenor saxophone. A fun tune. They got to learn a little bit about Charles Mingus earlier this school year, who's unfortunately, a lesser studied jazz artist in the jazz repertoire with younger musicians, and it's really a shame because he did a lot for the genre and for the American culture in general. So they really learned a lot and I think enjoyed it. This next tune is going to feature Derek Gullett on trombone. Nobody else enough. Good. And this song is entitled Misty.